Do you want to sound more like a Spanish native speaker rather than sounding like this?
I'm taking Spanish after this. The sound in the trunco.
Well, in this video, I'll be giving you 5 tips on how to have a better pronunciation in Spanish and sound more like a Spanish native speaker. And the last tip will be something that probably no one has ever told you. Hola a todos y bienvenidos a mi canal. Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Marbella Ramos. For the people who are new to my channel, hi and welcome. In this channel you will see a variety of stuff such as daily vlog videos of my life and also language tips. I usually also post shorts, motivational shorts. However, in this video I'll be giving you some tips on how to sound more like a Spanish native speaker. And without further ado, let's get started with the video. Spanish nowadays has been a very important language around the world. No matter where people live, no matter where people are from, Spanish is very essential wherever you go. No matter what's the reason why you want to learn Spanish, pronunciation is a very important thing when learning Spanish. And everybody wants to sound like if they were in the intermediate level. And it makes sense because you want to have the ability to speak to people and don't feel embarrassed or not feeling shy when speaking to new people when learning a language. And as a native Spanish speaker, I feel like Spanish can be a very hard language when talking about pronunciation. Spanish can be hard in the way people speak, the way that people use their vocabulary. Also, it can be hard when talking about grammar. This takes me to tip number 1, which is focus on one specific accent. As in English, Spanish has different accents depending on the area or where you live or what country do you live. For example, if you live in Mexico, you will have a total different accent in compared to a person who was born in Spain. They have 2 different accents even though these 2 countries are both Spanish speaking countries. What country do you want to learn more about? Do you want to learn a little bit more about Colombia? Do you want to learn a little bit about Venezuela? What do you want to learn? What culture do you want to learn more? Because if you try to focus on many accents at the same time, it will be hard to comprehend what to say, because people use different vocabularies and use it different ways. So not all people will use it the same way as other countries do. I feel like focusing on one accent will help you focus on that specific culture, that specific country, and it can be very helpful just to focus on one rather than many of them. Even though you're exposed to many of them, try to focus on one because it can be very confusing when trying to learn different types of accents or different vocabularies from other countries. It can be complicated. So try to focus on one accent rather than trying to focus on multiple, so you could progress a little bit better rather than learning different accents at the same time. Tip number 2 to sound more like a Spanish native speaker is to drop pronouns. Pronouns are not really necessary in Spanish. And why is that so? Well, it happens because the verb that you're using can help someone determine what you're talking about. It's similar like to Korean. Sometimes subject is not really necessary because they could just literally understand just of the verb that you're using. So it is the same way in Spanish. It's not like English that you need to have the subject there, because if not, no one will understand what you're saying. And for this, I just want to give you some examples so you can have a better understanding of what I'm talking about. I'm going to give you 2 examples. So first example is yo tengo hambre. I am hungry. Yo tengo hambre. You don't need that yo there. So you just take that out and you would just have tengo hambre. Tengo hambre. That's it. Another example is nosotros hemos ahorrado para el viaje. We have saved money for the trip. We don't need that nosotros there. You could drop that out and you only have hemos ahorrado para el viaje. And it still means the same thing. So this is what I'm saying. You don't need the pronoun there. Just try to conjugate the verb correctly and that'll be it. It can sound complicated at sometimes, but after you get the hang of it, it'll be easy and there's no need to always use a pronoun. Tip number 3, and is no contractions. That's why some people have a hard time to understand people that are not native Spanish speakers, because they speak very fast. However, I'm gonna give you some contractions that are usually spoken. I'll give you 3 examples for this one. So the first example is para. Para can have many different meanings depending on what you're talking about. And we could just take out the RA and you only have pa. Pa. Now in a sentence, you could have voy para la tienda, but we could say voy para la tienda. Voy para la tienda. So you see how we shorten the sentence? Voy para la tienda. I'm going to the store. I'm going to the market. Another example is vas a hacer. Vas a hacer. We don't usually say vas a hacer. We say va a hacer. And let me show you an example. We won't say to a person, ¿Qué vas a hacer para la cena? We don't say that. We would say, ¿Qué va a hacer para la cena? ¿Qué va a hacer para la cena? Example 3 is, ¿Qué es? ¿Qué es? You would take ¿Qué es and just put ¿Qué es? ¿Qué es? So an example would be, ¿Qué es esa cosa? You will not say ¿Qué es esa cosa? We say ¿Qué es esa cosa? Know your contractions. Usually it's like phrases or words that just are being shortened. We're going to tip number 4. Tip number 4 is to learn slangs. Oh my goodness, how much I cannot emphasize learning slangs. Slangs are literally spoken every single day. It's like something that it's already part of us. It's like literally in our veins. We just speak that every single time. And it's just, we're just used to it, just saying slang. It can help you sound more like a Spanish native speaker because it is spoken every single day. And it also depends also from what country you're from or from what country the person is. So take that in mind when trying to learn slangs. There could be Spanish slang words or there could be general Spanish slang phrases. So I'll give you some words and phrases. So I'm gonna give you 3 words and then also 3 phrases. So word number 1 or a slang, we would say chamba, chamba, which means like work. Voy pa la chamba. I'm going to work. We don't say voy pa'l trabajo. You could say that. People could say that. But like, you could say voy pa la chamba. Another one is ojo. It doesn't literally mean eye. It just means to watch out. Watch out. Ojo. Ojo. Number 3 is mande. Mande. Which means what? What? In a sense, we say mande to show respect to people that are older than us or like to our parents. I use mande every time to my parents just because it shows respect to them. It shows some manners. Like in English, if someone is calling you, like saying, hey, what? In Spanish, we would not be doing the same thing. If like my mom is calling me or my dad is calling me, I would say mande. Mande. So some phrases though, ponerse las pilas. Ponte las pilas, mija. Ponte las pilas. Like,
güey, ¿por qué estás agüitado, güey? Ponte las pilas.
it's just to step it up. Like, let's go, buddy. Let's keep working. So in a sense, it's like you step it up. Like try to work harder in a sense. Let's say, ponte las pilas. We say ponte las pilas. Another example is echar una mano, which simply means to just help someone. So like I could be helping my dad and he could be saying, hey, échame la mano, like give me a hand, help me out. It's just a general word. We won't say ayúdame. Another one is 3. Another caer gordo. Like you could say, esa persona me cae gorda. Like that person, I don't like that person. I dislike that person. Yeah, you know, I dislike that person. Me cae gorda. Or me cae gordo, depending if it's a woman or it's a man. Gorda means women, gordo, men. It's not saying that someone is fat. Okay? It's not saying that someone is fat. It's just saying that you just don't like that person. Me cae gorda esa persona. Now we're going to the last tip, which is tip number 5. And I feel like this is literally one of the most important tips for someone to have a better pronunciation in Spanish because it can be very necessary. And final tip for the day is learn the alphabet. Yep, learning the alphabet, learning A to Z. I feel like it's very important to learn the alphabet. It helps a person have a better pronunciation. Most of the words sounds like it is. Some of them are not, some of them are. Like some J's will not always sound like actual J's, like J. They could sound like a H, like H, like jugo. Spanish has an extra letter in Spanish, which is ñ. It's used in many words such as niño, piñata, piña. So it's used very often. Also, one of the hardest letter for a person to pronunciate is the R in Spanish. Like, it's not like R, it's like R. Like, you need to roll that R. Like, instead of saying carro, you would say carro. You need to roll the R, carro. Instead of saying camera, you would say cámara. You emphasize the R. Also, another letter that could be hard to pronunciate is D, because many people don't take in mind, but D, it's not always emphasized as a D, but it could also be emphasized like a the, like TH. For example, when saying dedo, you would not say dedo, you would say dedo. When the D is in the middle or when it's at the end, you pronounce it as a TH rather than an actual D. Another example is oportunidad. You would not say oportunidad, you would say oportunidad. So it can be hard to pronounce. Also, vowels are very essential. Vowels, when you're combining them, it can create another sound. As in English, when you put a O and an A together, you would have O rather than O. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like the same way in Spanish. One example would be UNE, would be we. INE would be ye. Learning how to combine vowels together, consonants together, can be very essential in having a better pronunciation in Spanish. I feel like having a time to learn the alphabet from A to Z, it's gonna help you have a way better pronunciation. And it can be better starting learning the alphabet first, and also learning some simple words in the beginning, and then like increasing the difficulty. You know, it's having, so you could be exposed a little bit on how to have a better pronunciation in these. So we have gotten to the end of the video, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I hope these tips can be very helpful for you to have a better pronunciation, to sound like a Spanish native speaker. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you're interested in these type of videos. If you have any questions or suggestions about learning about any language, or have a specific question, or want me to talk about a little bit more thoroughly about a part of learning Spanish, please let me know in the comments. I'll appreciate all your comments, and thank you guys again, and see you in the next video. Adios.